Atlanna's story begins far from the surface world, deep beneath the waves in the shining kingdom of Atlantis. Born into its royal line, she grew up with the weight of duty pressing against her shoulders almost as firmly as the tides themselves. From the moment she could swim, her life was shaped by courtly expectation, ancient traditions, and the political currents that flowed just as powerfully as the ocean around her. Unlike many Atlanteans, Atlanna's curiosity was stretched far beyond the confines of her people's borders. She was known to be a restless spirit, a woman whose heart was stirred not only by the mysteries of the deep, but also by the whispers of the world above. That sense of wonder set her apart, making her both admired and carefully watched. Her early years in Atlantis taught her discipline, resilience, and the difficult balance between loyalty to her kingdom and the pull of her own instincts. Atlanna was a princess who embodied strength and elegance, but beneath that regal exterior was a daring streak, one that hinted at choices she would one day make and that would forever tie her fate to both land and sea. Like all Atlanteans, she could breathe both underwater and in open air. Her body adapted to survive the crushing depths of the ocean, her strength far greater than that of a human, allowing her to battle even the fiercest of predators of the deep. She was also capable at swimming at remarkable speeds, moving through water faster than the eye could follow. Her endurance made her long journeys across the sea effortless, and her reflexes were finely tuned, both for combat and survival. Beyond her physical power, she had a commanding presence and a natural gift for leadership. Atlanna could inspire loyalty in her subjects and navigate the turbulent politics of Atlantis with poise. Atlanna's story in the comics is one of sacrifice, love, and the consequences of her own choices. One of her earliest defining moments came when she fell in love with Tom Curry, a lighthouse keeper from the surface. Their relationship was unprecedented, bridging the two worlds that rarely met in peace. From that union came Arthur Curry, who would one day become Aquaman. Her return to Atlantis marked another pivotal moment. Forced to leave Tom and Arthur behind, she was compelled by her duties as queen and her arranged marriage to Orvax Marius. Orvax Marius is an Atlantean royal, most often depicted as the king of Atlantis during the time Atlanna had returned to her people. He's usually presented as her husband by arrangement rather than affection, a match driven by political duty rather than personal choice. Through this union, Orvax fathered Orm, the one who would later become Ocean Master, Arthur Curry's half-brother and one of his greatest rivals. Unlike Atlanna, Orvax is not remembered for compassion or diplomacy. His role in the comics leans towards stern authority and the preservation of Atlantean tradition. He represents the rigid expectations of the throne and the divide between Atlantis and the surface. His presence in Atlanna's life underscores her conflict between love and obligation, making him an important figure that fractured the family dynamic that shaped both Arthur and Orm. Atlanna's later appearances often deepen the tragedy of her story. In some tellings, she perished because of political schemes in Atlantis. In others, she was revealed to have survived, but only to be imprisoned or hidden away. These variations all deliver the same theme. Atlanna was both a queen and a victim of Atlantis' harsh traditions. Her legacy is through the destinies of her sons. Arthur became Aquaman, carrying her strength and compassion into the world above. Orm, however, inherited the bitterness of her absence, channeling it into his own claim to the throne. Atlanna's greatest moments weren't the battles she fought herself, but the choices that shaped two of Atlantis' most important figures and altered the course of the Ocean Kingdom forever. Atlanna's story is not just a tale of a queen, but the foundation of Aquaman's entire legacy. She embodies the tension between love and duty, the push and pull of the world that struggles to coexist. Her life choices, falling in love with a human, returning to a throne she didn't want, and raising sons who would become bitter enemies, shaped not only her family but the fate of Atlantis itself. Her importance in the mythos lies in her role as both bridge and barrier. She connected Atlantis to the surface through Arthur, yet her forced separation from him left scars that would never fully heal. She gave Atlantis another heir in Orm, but that very act planted the seeds of rivalry and conflict. Atlanna's story reminds us readers that the most powerful legacies often come not from thrones or crowns, but from the quiet, human choices of love, sacrifice, and survival. The lesson of Atlanna is that no destiny is simple, and no act of love is without consequence. She stands as a reminder that compassion can defy tradition, and that the bond we form, even when broken, can ripple outwards to shape history. Through her, the mythology of Atlantis is not just one of kings and battles, but of a mother whose heart carried the weight of two worlds.